Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again, inside the car, outside the gym. It's been a little while. I hope everyone had a good holiday regardless of what you celebrate, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Festivus for the rest of us, and who you choose as your holiday idol, whether it be Santa Claus, whether it be Jesus, whether it be George Costanza. But anyways, what we're doing is outside the gym. We're actually meeting up with two other people, Anthony Polk, who you guys have seen on my channel before, and also Lakshma from KP Fitness. So two people coming to train. We're going to do some deadlifts. Now for me personally, this is actually kind of a deload week. I took most of the last week off after having maxed in all three lifts. Now we're going to work back at about 70% today and the rest of this week before jumping into the 12-week program that will lead up to my meet on March 29th, which is a Sunday, because only the skinny guys lift Saturday and the fat guys have to lift on Sunday. So that's where we stand. Going to go in and we'll see you guys inside. All right, my name is Brandon and I am ignorant. So this is Lakshmi, so I apologize about butchering your name at first. I had not met her yet, but she came to train deadlifts with myself and, as mentioned, Anthony, which is a little bit easier for me to pronunciate, but she actually was the one that wanted to do deadlifts. They contacted me and they said, you know, can we train with you? I said, sure. Let me just check with my parole officer, make sure it's okay that I change with a girl. And I said, what do you want to train? She said, I want a deadlift. So this was really cool. So what you see here is some of our warm-up sets and our progression. Now for me particularly, this is a deload week, as I mentioned already in the car. So for this, my goal was to only work up to about 70% of my max, which for me put me roughly at around 430, 435, just so happened to be around the weights that Anthony was training as well. Now for Lakshmi, she had said that she was just going to work up to some heavy triples. And I got to say, I was thoroughly impressed. Now this is actually my first time actually training with a girl. Yes, I know, surprising. Beyonce necessarily doesn't like me going out and playing with girls in the gym, but I was really impressed by her form and her dedication to actually deadlifting, considering she hasn't been training for strength or power all that long. Here you see me rocking that Boss Barbell BBBBC shirt, which is quite nice anyways. Here she is on her next set, working up to about 235 here. And for her, I thought her pulls were going really well. Now, previous to us training, we were talking throughout the whole time, and she was saying she had an issue with her form, specifically her lower back. But to be honest, I really didn't see too many issues whatsoever. Now, again, here's Anthony. You guys have seen him before. Now, both of these people, I will link their channels in the description box below. Highly encourage you to go check them out. Anthony's channel is a little bit different in the fact where he just tracks his progress, so it doesn't have any random stupid videos like mine. It's actually legit fitness and just training, whereas mine is dick jokes and fart jokes and bad advertisements. Here she is on her next set. She actually trains with her boyfriend on their channel, KP Fitness. They do all a bunch of different things, so definitely check them out. Like I said, both of them are great channels that I'm both subscribed to. Here's my last warm-up set of 405, just a single, and here's Anthony doing the same with 405. Now, if you thought I was tall, Anthony is a beast. He's about 2 to 3 inches taller than me, which puts him at 6'6", 6'7", and I think he weighs like 260 or 270, so he is a monster, and that never does good for my ego. I always like to train with people that are smaller and weaker than me, just because it makes me feel better about myself, and I don't cry as much at night, although I still shed some tears, but what are you going to do? So as I said, this is actually a deload week for me. The previous week, all through Christmas, I didn't train at all, so I'm going to be doing this all week with all my main movements. Again, a 3x5 with 70% of my 1 rep max. And then what I'll do is I'll start my 12-week program leading up to my meet with 2 weeks peaking built into that, so kind of a hybrid. So again, to kind of fill you guys in on this program I'm running, a lot of people have asked when is it going to be available. I have only run it through once, and as part of that, there's some changes I'm going to do. I talked about some of these things with Garrett Blevins, who I'm a big fan of, who is great when it comes to programming. So there's some changes that I thought was necessary, and he kind of confirmed about some of the order of things. However, at the end of the 12 weeks and after my powerlifting meet, I will definitely give you guys kind of a spreadsheet written down with all my thoughts about how things went and what I find works well for me. I think for most people, this will probably fit better for more advanced intermediates, so more towards the ends of advanced lifters. So if you're just getting into training, this program probably won't be as optimal for you. And for this particular day, as I'm rambling on here, as I tend to do from video to video, I wanted to show you a couple different angles. People always kind of knock my form, which it's the internet and it's YouTube. That's what the internet is really made for trolling. I really don't have a problem at all with my back. Some people say it's rounded. I don't have a problem with my lower back at all. It's actually fairly straight. Surprisingly, I do actually have some lats, which make my upper back look somewhat rounded, and it is somewhat rounded too. But again, that's where I get the best pulse from, and I haven't had an injury in forever since going to this form for the most part. And this is coming from someone who previously injured themselves deadlifting with even worse
or firm form. Is it weird that I said firm and I'm looking at a man deadlift from the side? I think it is a little bit. But here you see some other stuff, and again, I tried to get a whole bunch of different angles of all of us, because one of the great things about filming yourself, besides uploading it to YouTube and having people tell you you don't look like you lift, is you can actually see a lot of your own form and see rooms for improvement. So here you can see my pulls, and I thought all these pulls went really well today. I did use my belt, even though we're only working with 70%. Did not use any chalk on this particular day, though, and I didn't have a problem with my grip strength whatsoever. And I was really happy with how fast these were moving for the most part. Felt pretty good, not gonna lie. I will probably say it's because of the shirt. Here you see Lakshmi, and it's interesting with her because she said she really wants to eventually get 3 plates on each side, and she actually worked up to a single of 305, and for sure she has at least 315 in her. If you guys have been paying attention to all these past my rambling, you'll see we did a ton of actual sets this day. She did a lot of volume, considering each time she jumped it was only like 5, 10 pounds, maybe 20 pounds in some instances. So what we talked about a lot was kind of peaking, and if she would to actually go to max and had the right progressions as part of her warm-ups, as you see this 305 here, she definitely has at least 315 in her. So again, very impressed by her overall. Of course, we had to get in some Campbell rows, a little bit of a safer angle here so you don't see that booty all up in your face. Just use 80 pounds here. Again, as part of this deload week, we didn't do a ton of extra work. Normally on most deadlift days, what I do is I'll throw in a primary assistance movement. And again, you guys will find out more about this when I actually show you my program. She wanted to try these out, and as you can see, we're talking about how awkward this is. As I demonstrate there, I'm talking about pulling the rows in. Trust me, guys. But it's a very weird feeling, and also I noticed I was in the shot, so I wanted to make sure I got out. But again, these are my favorite pulling movement as an accessory. I just find these really hit my lats well. Plus you get to rape a bench basically, so it's a win-win for everybody. I didn't get Anthony on these. He did a standing dumbbell pull. I mean, really, just we're looking to get more pulling movements in on this particular day. I just wanted to do one actual video set for all this assistance work, just because you guys have already put up with 6 or 7 minutes of me rambling on, talking about everything from firm men to humping stuff to all sorts of weirdness, which is pretty much a standard for my videos. Now, the next week, what you should expect from me is I'm going to do a little bit of videos updating you on how I went as far as 2014 goes. Did I hit all my goals? What are my goals for 2015? Fill you in on some more stuff as we go. I apologize about the lack of content lately, so that's probably why I'm rambling on a little bit. A lot of information to get out, as you see my actual stiff-legged deadlifts here. But again, just to kind of recap, deload week for me, nothing heavy. It was great training with both Lakshmi and Anthony. Check out both their channels, linked in the description box below. I don't believe any of them have any discount codes just yet, but with your help, we could get them on that Gymshark Isotory level. You know what I'm saying? In the meantime, as always, thanks so much for watching, and stay big.